First overall, baby, the Vancouver Canucks are back up in there. And, okay, points percentage, schmoints percentage. Who really cares about that? They're first by points. We'll just take this and leave it. Because the Vancouver Canucks, with today's win against the Arizona Coyotes on Pride Night, went out there and just totally gave the fans a show. Even though the game was only a 2-1 decision. Even though the Vancouver Canucks took like 15 minutes to get a shot on goal in the second period. This was an antsy, aggressive, and really tight game. The Arizona Coyotes are a much better team than we give them credit for. They're pretty nasty, not gonna lie. They get under the skin of the opponent with guys like Liam O'Brien going out there and rustling up some feathers. You had other physical altercations that definitely took over some of the momentum in this game, and their goaltending. Connor Ingram had a stellar game, not gonna lie. The guy had 2 goals against, but he made a total of 24 saves, so he had a .923 save percentage in this one. Meanwhile, Thatcher Demko had 20 saves period on 21 shots against, so he had a .952. 2-1 is the score, as we had said, but realistically, coming out of this game, there are 2 main storylines that I think are taking over based off of the results that we had seen. First, I want to talk about Dakota Joshua, because this guy scores what is now his career high. What is it, his 12th goal of the season? He has been on a heater. It's crazy how effective Dakota Joshua has been this season. And I gotta thank the hockey gods because I have him on fantasy. I'm gonna be honest, I was watching this Canucks game with a little bit of an eager heart because I could very well lose my fantasy matchup this week. I have a lot of guys that were missing out on games because they got injured or because their games had gotten postponed and they got moved to other days where I actually don't have the available roster spots. I can very well lose this week and it's gonna suck, but yeah, out of my control, right? Just gotta hope that some of the guys that I have from the Canucks are able to carry the load, and that is exactly what they did today. Dakota Joshua has been stellar, and this is going to be a UFA at the end of the season. How much money is he going to get? This may be a guy the Vancouver Canucks cannot afford to keep around. Let some other team pay the guy $3-something million a year. Let some other team make Dakota Joshua their version of a Jay Beagle or an Antoine Roussel. Because if the Vancouver Canucks are not able to do it, honestly, I'd understand. Just because he's really pricing himself out. He's been so good, which is awesome, but also kind of sad. But at the same time, there's another story of another forward on the Vancouver Canucks that has been in the doghouse once again. It is Andrei Kuzmenko. Kuzi is in a really tough spot because when it comes to Kuzmenko and his overall game, I mean, look, he had some bad turnovers, especially in that second period. There were some plays where he just missed the puck entirely, some passes that he fumbled, some passes to opposite guys that weren't really in the best positions. Andrei Kuzmenko did not have the best game tonight. And you could see that from the tape, just watching some of the footage here, and adding this on to the fact that he hasn't had a point in 8 games now. The fact is, Andrei Kuzmenko got benched in the third period. He didn't play on his normal line. They moved everybody around to accommodate. And then, even on the first power play unit, Andrei Kuzmenko wasn't there either. They put Pia Suter on with the Boeser-Petey Hughes-Miller combo. So Kuzmenko was benched, like, fully. As much of a benching as you could bench a guy for. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of poetic how Andrei Kuzmenko has this kind of a game that's bad enough to get him benched, whilst it's Pride Night. I'll leave it at that. But either way, the Canucks win this one 2-1. As we had said, 2 goals scored by Vancouver. First was scored by Elias Pettersson on the power play in the first period. This was a beautiful play that we've actually seen before. I believe it was in the Ottawa game where JT Miller wins the face-off in the offensive zone, right back to Hughes, who whips it over to Petey, and he one-times it far side from the high slot. It beats the goalie, it beats the D. Nobody is able to get in front of that one, and he has such a great accuracy when just throwing it on goal. He kind of just chucks it with the stick there, and it goes in a perfect spot, top corner. Beautiful goal to beat Connor Ingram. And this goal came after so much Vancouver pressure, another Canucks power play wherein they didn't score, and this first period really was just a dominant Vancouver clinic against an Arizona team that wasn't matching the pace. However, that 1-0 lead was not long-lived, as literally just 2 minutes later you had Travis Dermott, of all people, score to tie the game up at 1. It's kind of a confusing play as Alex Kerfoot has the puck coming in. He's cutting across the slot and trying to throw it on goal, but the puck takes a weird bounce off of somebody in front and it deflects off to the side. Thatcher Demko is not in position because he was attending to the Kerfoot shot attempt, and Dermott is right there to shoot it, and it goes right in. 1-1 is the game here. That's Dermott's first goal of the year. Former Canucks Travis Dermott, and of course the guy who started using the Pride tape to deflect against the NHL's wishes this season. So again, kind of poetic how everything fits into this game here, but the game stayed 1-1 up until the end of the first and then into the second period. Second period was not good for Vancouver. Like, they started this one out with multiple penalty-killing shifts. Tyler Myers took 2 penalties at the start of this second period. Canucks killed it off. Arizona was not able to capitalize, but because of those shifts and because of the deployment of the guys there, everything was just kind of thrown up into a blender. You had a lot of guys that weren't really playing as much as they should have or normally would have under the circumstances, so the Canucks were just kind of trying to get their footing as this second period went on. They couldn't really control it all too much. It took them so long just to get a gosh darn shot. They had themselves their own power plays. Travis Dermott went off for hooking. Michael Carconi had a cross-checking penalty on Carson Soucy and a roughing one, wherein Soucy also got himself a roughing too. But the Canucks were not able to capitalize on any power plays in the second period. The only goal scored instead, though, is by Dakota Joshua. It's a beautiful play where Teddy Bluger sends it up. Höglander comes in on goal, and he chucks it into the middle for Joshua, who's driving the net. Joshua takes the shot, he deflects the puck on goal. It's stopped by Ingram, but Joshua still right there as he's skating forward, takes the puck and drags it around Ingram's pads and goes top shelf. What a beautiful goal there, scored by Joshua. Another one of these plays set up by that line. Now, Connor Garland was not playing on the line because he had some extra penalty killing time, I believe. Nils Höglander got the shift instead, but Bluger, Höglander, Joshua getting on the board. I needed this goal because Joshua's on my fantasy team. He sets me up really well with hits and shots and stuff, so good on him. But 2-1 is the score at the end of the second period. That's the final score of the game. There are a few extra power plays in here, and the Canucks are not able to capitalize, unfortunately. Like, they looked so good on the power play. At least the first unit did. But they were not able to score other than that Elias Pettersson one-timer. There was a really nice play where Quinn Hughes had the puck in the corner and spun around, sending it out to Miller. That was just shot wide. There were a few other opportunities where guys had really great chances in front, but they just shot it off the side as well. They could not hit the net. It was really unfortunate. And eventually, the Canucks hold on to what is a 2-1 lead. After all the shenanigans, all the physical stuff, I didn't say it at the beginning, but there were a lot of Liam O'Brien shenanigans. He got into a big fight with Nikita Zadorov, and Zadorov beat the hell out of him, not gonna lie. And this set the tone for the rest of the game, because all the physical stuff that was going on, you could tell these two teams are getting sick of each other by the end of the second period. And in the third, you know, the Canucks had themselves some spice to it as well. As Arizona pulled the goalie to get that 6-on-5 going, you had a few saves made by Thatcher Demko that were just really great. There was a one-timer on the side there on Clayton Keller, where Demko absolutely robbed and read the play perfectly. And then the Canucks spiced it up with a few high emotional moments of their own. Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson both had shots at the empty net that barely missed on the left side post. They were just so close to going in, but they both trickled and slowly went wide, giving Canucks fans a little bit more anxiety as the faceoffs came back in the Canucks zone. But Thatcher Demko hangs on. The Vancouver Canucks get their 30th win of the season, and with this win, they are now the first team in the NHL in overall points, and still third in points percentage. They are also the first team this season to 30 wins in total. You've got Colorado and Winnipeg, who are down there at 29. Winnipeg has 2 more games to catch up to Vancouver. But now, the Canucks with this win opening up their 5-game homestand against the Arizona Coyotes with a 2-1 score. It gives us some very exciting things as they suit up and hopefully continue this momentum as the homestand continues on. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this game. What are your thoughts about Andrei Kuzmenko getting benched hardcore in this one? He is not seeing any ice time pretty much for the rest of the week, it looks like. Who knows if he's going to get scratched again, man. It seems like a very big possibility. What are your thoughts on the way the game was conducted here? What are your thoughts on Pettersson and Dakota Joshua's goals? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.